schedule. Weight limit is 175 pounds. First, with a record of 11-0 with 9 knockouts, he is indeed undefeated. The hard-hitting southpaw, the two-division world champion, David Morrell. David Morrell weighs in at 174.2 pounds.
No.
174.2. And now here he is.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? One more sleep. We just got the weigh-in.
Two-time two-division champion of the world, the Mexican monster, David "A Monstro" Benavidez.
You know we got to get our final picks in. Officially. Final prediction show. What up, the plug? What's up? What's up? I'm gonna wait like one more minute and I'm gonna get this started. While you guys are coming in, please give me your guys' votes, man. And while you guys are also coming in, please write specifically how you think the fight's gonna go. Because I'm gonna actually try to make a video with your guys' comments. I'm gonna try to make a video with your guys' comments, so. What up, Chris? What up, Eric? What up, Balenciaga? What up, David? Who I got? I'm gonna tell you guys who I got after a whole week. Morel by KO. What up, Ken? What up, dog? What's up, brother? Let's go. All right. Let me get the music off. We all saw the weigh-in. If you guys have not seen the weigh-in, I will be showing you guys the weigh-in footage. We're gonna be doing the whole weigh-in dissection, how these guys looked. All right, let me turn this off real quick. What up, Chris? What up, Chris? What up, David? Who you got? I'll tell you guys who I got in a second. Balenciaga, we all know this is an easy win for Benavidez. Eric Gomez says bomb squad. What up, Ken? What's up, man? Hope life is good, man. That's one of my good homies right there, man. Let me shout out Ken real quick. He covered Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis for FightHype. So shout out to him. He got some good stuff. Sherp says Morel by KO. Thrymo says David beating David for sure. That's a great pick. I didn't even think about that one. I didn't even think about David versus picking. I see them polls coming in. Looking strong for David Benavidez right now.
What is he gonna learn about you tomorrow night?
I didn't even think we were gonna get this fight soon, but here we are. Manuel, what's up? David, Mexican monster, take care of business and gets this W. Okay. Morel wins by 7th round KO. Benavidez 5th round KO. It's a toss-up. I don't know enough about it. Benavidez has some serious speed. Let's go, David Benavidez. Raymundo, what's up? Benavidez KO 7th round, Ken says. Oh my God, I can't unsee it. Angry Casual Fan says Polished Rios getting stopped. He called David Benavidez Polished Brandon Rios. Savage. Let me get this footage up for you guys, because I know that some of you guys probably didn't see the actual win. We're gonna dissect the physique, how they looked. Also, we're gonna go on the co-main and everyone else in the card. I'm gonna be honest, man. David Morel, you know, I'm not trying to be like a body expert, right? But David Morel looked pretty shredded. I'm not gonna lie. And you know, it could be genetics, it could be physique, right? Hold on, let me get the footage up. It's still processing, so right now it's 360p. So I'm gonna get the footage up. I'm gonna let it render a little bit, and then I'm gonna play it in high quality, and we're gonna go. But everyone made weight on the card. That's great news. Juan says Benavidez round 11. Kingdom John Doe, what's up? Morel TKO or Benny by decision. Still Benny looks skinny but healthy. King Chapo, Morel looks locked in. Morton says Benavidez by beatdown. What up, my guy? I see a lot of Benavidez. Right now, I see we got 177 votes. 70% says Benavidez. If you think it's different, lock it in and put it in the chat who you think and how. Because this is going to be the receipt. This stream is going to be the receipt because everything is going to be right here for evidence and above. I'm going to go through each chat. I'm going to pull it up. So, granted, if you called it, you have your receipt right here. But don't be double dipping. All right? Don't be saying one guy here and one guy here. Pick with confidence. Benavidez always looks like he's hurting the weigh-in. I'm not sure if he did today. So, like I said, I'm going to play the footage. And it's still rendering. So, it's 360p. Let me go put it on here. Screen sharing. See, it's still rendering. It kind of looks a little shitty right now. So, give it a few minutes. I'll be able to get this scaled back up to 1080. It's only at 360, but I'll play it in the background right now, just so we have something, so it's not just my mug. David's gonna beat the F out of David. Man, you guys gotta stop with the David beats David stuff. David for the win. David by knockout. 9th round. The walls are closing on Benavidez. He stalled out Morel too long. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to get the jitters as a Benavidez pick. All right, I picked Benavidez. I've been stated in PBC. They put out like media picks and everything like that. I pretty much said, look, I'm going with the guy with more experience. You know, on paper this should be an equally matched fight when it comes to size, you know, physique, everything, all of that. They're fighting someone, they're equal height and shape. But Benavidez has more experience in the pros. Morel has more experience in the amateurs. Now, the press conference, you know, there was a lot of emotions flying. The first face-off that we saw, right? Let me play the first face-off first. The first face-off that these guys did, I don't know if I was 100% feeling Morel's energy, right? And it might not be the fact that, you know, he's scared or he's intimidated at all. But it might just be the fact that, like, you know, Benavidez is trying to, quote, punk him. And sometimes I like to see that energy get matched. You can see Morel is very playful. Then he looks away, looks down, looks back up, smiles, looks away a little bit, chuckles. Is this him just like not into the face off? Like, dude, you're being a tough guy, you're being a weirdo. Or, you know, just, you know, first pay-per-view jitters, you know what I mean? But I'll tell you this, the face off they did today, Morel was locked in. Morel was locked in. He was dead serious. Yeah, it's still upscaling, it's still processing. I'm showing you right now. And I'm telling you right now, Morel looks shredded. Morel looks shredded. And the same type of face-off energy, he kind of like, there's the switch right there a little bit, you know? But is he nervous? Or is, you know what I mean? Like, is he nervous? The face-off looks better today than it did yesterday. Benavidez looks like Benavidez. He looks pissed. He looks angry. He looks ready to go. I like the confidence a little bit more from Morel he's showing today. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, skills pay the bills. You know, we'll get into the physique of these two guys when the full weigh-in comes in. Edwards says 9th for Benavidez. Morel 6th. Tim B. Morel doesn't have the Twitter finger energy that he had when he was calling Benavidez a bitch and pussy. Now he's about peace and love. He has shown a lot of respect, and the peace and love is starting to come out, you know, and you know, it's not as violent verbal assaults like he did online. So I like certain fighters like Morel, but Benavidez is generational. I don't see Morel like that. But if he proves me wrong, I think it's a great rivalry. Latinos go at it like it's 1537. Damn. You don't make me pull out the textbook. Facts. Something tells me Morel wins. Look, this is not going to be an easy fight for Benavidez. He's going to have to drag him into the late rounds. I picked Benavidez strictly off the experience. And if he does win, he's going to have to take him to the later rounds and literally break him down. Morel has great footwork. Morel has great lateral movement. He has great punch selection. He has a great jab. He's strong. He's powerful. He has a lot of attributes that can make this very difficult for Benavidez. And I believe if Morel actually hurts Benavidez, he'll stop Benavidez. But can he hurt Benavidez is the question, you know? And vice versa. If Benavidez hurts Morel, I believe that he's going to be able to stop him as well, you know? But you can see that these guys are similar height and size. This is not a little 160-pounder coming up for Benavidez, former champion. You know, this isn't, you know, a random, unknown kind of opponent that David Morrell has been fighting. Some 160s coming up to 160. No, they are fighting essentially their equal at 175, their second fight there. All right. How much does Jake and Logan pay you promote their circus fights? They don't pay us nothing, bro. They don't pay us nothing. We cover everything. You know what I mean? Let me see if this footage has upscaled. Give me a second. All right, it has not upscaled yet. It's still at 360. Damn, it's been 7 minutes and still hasn't upscaled. All right. Benavidez looks bad at weigh-ins. He didn't look chiseled. I'll say that. David Benavidez kind of looked a little flabby, right? It could be genetics, but he wasn't cut up. He wasn't shredded. I know a lot of people, let's see, Benavidez, Caleb Plant weigh-in. Let's look at the Caleb Plant weigh-in, right? And compare. All right, so this was at 168 now, keep in mind, not 175. All right, you got some abs going a little bit. Obviously, he's a lot more weight drained because it's a smaller weight class, about 7 pounds smaller. But this is how he looked for Caleb Plant. Now let's look at the weigh-in for how he looked for Demetrius. All right. Once again, 168. And then lastly, his last fight, his first fight at 175. Bear with me. I don't want to butcher his name. Alexander Gavashek. Shout out to Google, because you know what I mean. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to know how to spell that. Man, Alexander was a tank. God dang. What the fuck? This is David Benavidez' last weigh-in. Right? At 175. So, with our processing video that's still stuck at 360, right? I'm going to pull up some pictures. Fuck this. This is not doing justice. I need to pull up pictures. Hold on. David Benavidez. Let's see. I need to see how his physique looks. Because David Morrell looks shredded. All right. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull a still from the PBC stream. What do you guys think? How he looks? Does he look the same? You know, that's just normal Benavidez body shape. Morel versus Benavidez. All right. I'm going to get a still. And we're going to Let's see. Let's get Benavidez
the
on
two
screen.
division world Paul.
All right. This is what, on the PBC stream, this is what David Morrell at 175 looks like. That's what David Morrell looks like at 175. All right, this is David Benavidez, second fight at 175. All right, I'm going to start reading the chat to catch up. But what do you think? How does David Benavidez look at 175? Because Morel looks shredded. Morel is in dog shape. That's what I'm saying. Morel eats burger Vita shape. Train gets stopped for begging David Benavidez. Benavidez is going to beat the F out of Buddy and stop him. Morel's been in shape since he's been teen. Benny was fat. I respect that. I respect that. You know, and I know this doesn't, you know, doesn't tell, you know, the significance of the skill set, right? But, you know, this is what we watch weigh-ins for, right? If that's the case, then what's the point of having weigh-ins, right? Benavidez clearly looks drained. Morel looks like he eats dog food and water. Benavidez by whooping. Styles make fights. And this plays into Benavidez fight stoppage, late to mid fight. All right. This is Benavidez. And where is it? Where was that still that I had of Morel? Man, I had a good still of David Morel. And I mean, I'll tell you this. Benavidez don't look shredded. I mean, we can all agree with that. His arms look strong. His arms look strong when he's flexing. And, you know, he doesn't look shredded, but he looks strong. So, Benavidez, Chihuahua, energy shows he shook. Benavidez, 11 TKO. The fight's definitely going 12. I guarantee you this. Okay. So, nobody's getting stopped. All the hype of everyone. Yo, I'm seeing the Benavidez polls going down. I'm seeing more Morel coming in. I see 68% Benavidez, 32 Morel. Morel will do well early, but the pace will wear him, and the first Benavidez hurts him, he ends it. The Athens monster will eat again. It's going 12 rounds. Nobody's getting knocked out. Morel fans are going to avoid any boxing talk after Morel for the first 3 months. Doughboy says I got Morel. Morel by KO, 8th round. Benavidez looks the way he always looks before a fight. Morel is the same Morel. So these guys essentially just look the same is what, you know, what I'm getting at. No special effects. Let me see. Did it process? Okay, there we go. It upscaled. A lot better. So I'm going to play the footage in its entirety. I'm going to read comments. Appreciate your guys' patience. That's kind of, just so you guys know, when videos go up, we obviously got to get it up fast. But if it looks like shit in the beginning, it's just because YouTube's processing the conversion. Now, we can play it in better quality. All right. Morel's name would never be spoken again after he loses. Damn. But what if he does really well and he just loses the fight? Benavidez wins by stoppage in the 9th. Morel looks good though. First 4 and gets dominated to the end. Morel might pull up an upset, but Benavidez got the endurance and combination late rounds. I'll pick the monster, TM says. Benavidez is too reckless. Look, Morel looks shredded, man. His sides, his back, he looks strong. He looks really strong at 175. I'm not hating, right? Because I'm not, you know, I'm not like a 2% body fat world champion, all right? This is no body shaming. I'm not body shaming. This is just genetics, right? Right? Because he's obviously strong. We saw the arms. 175, we got a little something going over the designer pants going on right here, right? So he obviously, you know, he's bigger, all right? Doesn't tell the story, right? Doesn't tell the story. But we already know if this was a beauty contest, GQ magazine cover, Morel looks the part. You know, these guys both moved up 7 pounds. Neither guy was able to get their opponent out of there. So, neither guy was able to get their opponent out at 175. So can they get each other out at 175? Is stoppage realistic? Morel by KO 8th round. Canelo call out Benavidez right after the Morel beats him up. That'd be crazy. I'll be disgusted at Canelo. If Benavidez looks bad and Canelo entertains the idea of a fight, then you know what time it is. Finally, Benavidez gets a dude his size, always talking about Canelo, who is way smaller in weight and height. I see peace and love from Johnny Blanco. I'm not a fan of neither, so I have no horse in this race. I can see both men win. Honestly, each fighter has routes to win. Morel's all business. Nervous. One fine porcupine. What's up, brother? Who's nervous? That's some. Oh, yeah, you saying Morel's nervous. Morel looks well prepared. Benavidez is looking serious respect. Morel has a big head. $10 super chat. Young World. What's up, man? Appreciate the love. That goes into my piggy bank when I go out to the Keyshawn Davis and Ivan Branchek. Even Benavidez was clapping after Morel stepped off the scale. I like Benavidez, though, for the W. Let's rewind that. You notice that, too? You know, and honestly, I think once the fight's over, the bad blood goes away. Every time I see Benavidez, after he fights an opponent, as angry he looks, part of it's to sell the pay-per-views. He does calm down afterwards. So, I think he's just extremely competitive and compassionate. So, let's see the clapping like you said, Young World, with the awesome $10 super chat. There you go. Was he clapping for Morel? Was he clapping for Morel? What's crazy, though, before I get back into the chat, is Benavidez, Morel. You know how big Benavidez looked prior to this? Let's see. I need to find... Hold on. I think we have it. Hold on. Give me a sec. I think we have it. Because Benavidez, I'm going to keep it real. He looked kind of chunky. He looked chunky before getting in camp. I think we have a short of it. Morel, Benavidez, face off. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, right here. He look a little chunky, don't he? So he cut a lot of weight down. He cut a lot of weight down. He looked big as hell. They both definitely don't look in shape. But Benavidez clearly looks way bigger than he did today. So this is where they came from. This was their first face-off. And now here they are. That's when they started camp, exactly. Facts. That's exactly when they started camp. Both of them did look big. That's what I was saying. They both look big. I know I'm sounding like I'm putting a little heat on Benavidez, but I'm just saying that's where he came from. He transformed down. But then you raised the point. They both did. So, I don't know. Benavidez looked bigger. I felt like he had to cut more down. But either or, if it's genetics or not, Morel looks chiseled. Cruiserweight. Andy Cruz says that Morel reminds him of himself. Andy has the same playful way, so I can see what he meant. I have more confidence, though, in Morel than Andy Cruz. And it's not no shade at Andy Cruz. I feel like Morel already proved to me at his third fight when he fought Lennox Allen that he was a good fighter. Andy Cruz, it's a work in progress. You can see his skill and talent. But by far, the Lennox Allen win immediately at three fights, extremely impressive. Benavidez is just an actor. Benavidez is nervous, Chihuahua energy. Morel just might pull this off. Benavidez can't go in there reckless. I'm seeing the Benavidez pull dropping. I'm seeing it now to 66. I see more Morel coming in. Morel's at 34%, slowly rising. Jaron Anderson did the same thing with Bacoli. What are you talking about, the dancing? Y'all really think the 11-0 guy gonna beat Benavidez? I mean, look, I favor Benavidez, but Morel is not just an ordinary 11-0 guy. Like, the whole 11-0 needs to be tossed out when you actually know there's talent, skill, and a great amateur background. Like, it poses a threat. You know, at the end, it always poses a threat. You know, Lomachenko posed a threat. Majramov posed a threat. You know, like, these guys show that their amateur elite backgrounds translates pretty well in the pros. Donald Curry, if any old heads in here. Adrian Broner had a phenomenal amateur background. You know, so David Morrell has only lost, I think, 2 amateur fights, and another one was against an amazingly talented Cuban boxer that's gone pro already. So, personally, I don't think this is an 11-0 normal guy. I think this is a very tough fight for David Benavidez. And I think he definitely has to get in his bag. I think he definitely has to get very tricky, very creative. And he's going to have to show his pro experience. Not just walk in there and just... He's going to have to show him what he learned from his last 4 fights, by far. And if not, Morrell's going to dominate. He cut the weight with Osterine. Oh my God. Benavidez finally admitted, though, he walks around 230. Benavidez is big, man. I can't confirm if it's 230, but he's big, man. Let me see if yeah, we had the Pitbull face off, but I'm gonna get away from that right now. We Benavidez Morel time right now. Devin Benavidez is gonna chop that body down. Benavidez at 175, and it's gonna be a problem. Oh shit! So my camera cuts off. I got this really nice Sony camera. It just cuts off. I got a fan for it. I gotta go get it in the mailbox. So no more of these cameras cutting off moments. When you get like expensive camera, man, this mirrorless camera should be turning off instantly. But I got a solution for it. Andrew G says most casuals thought Mike Tyson was 60 and he was gonna beat Fake Paul too. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do. There's so many comments that I'm kind of behind, and I don't want you guys to feel like I'm ignoring you guys, but I'm going to just kind of jump right ahead. So anything that you want to say, I'm just going to just start from the beginning. I mean, the current of the chat. So T-Fot, what's up? I'm trying to remember what the interview has said, 230, then try to backtrack saying 215 and 220. If you find the interview, let me know. But he's definitely not a small guy. Munguia Benavidez. I mean, I got Benavidez. Morel fans or Canelo fans. You know, I ain't going to lie, Garfield. There is probably a lot of Canelo fans in Morel, but there's also a lot of Canelo fans in Benavidez, so I'm not gonna really disrespect, you know, Benavidez like that, because at the end of the day, Benavidez has Canelo fans as well. A lot of people want to see Canelo versus Benavidez, but you're talking about Benavidez haters or Morel fans, then yeah, I agree with that. Name one active Cuban champion. One fine porcupine says. Laura. What's up, one fine? Erislandi Laura. Is that even a serious question? Come on, man. Don't even do this to the Cubans, bro. Cubans are great fighters. Cubans are great fighters. And I already answered your question, so. 11-0 Morel not beating Asma Pegvita. This is crazy. Benavidez said he walks around 200. It's fair. You see in the face of Benavidez, he reached his arm out and Morel flinched. That made Benavidez smile, not saying it means something. Harry, he flinched? Hold on. I don't see Morel. Hold on. I don't see Morel flinching. Nah, Morel ain't flinch. And he smiled, yeah. You seen the face, Benavidez reached his arms out, Morel flinched. That made Benavidez smile, not saying. He didn't, Harry, where did you see this? I'm going to rewind it. I'm going to rewind it, and I'm going to pull this up so you can see the timestamp. So give me the timestamp. I didn't see, did you guys see Morel flinch? I ain't see Morel flinch. Was this earlier? I don't see Morel flinching. I don't see Morel flinching. He ain't flinch. Is it past this? He's smiling. I don't see him flinching. Was it after this? I don't see him flinching. No. No, I don't see no flinch. I don't see no flinch. I don't see no flinch, man. It can't be that face-off. Given the contrasting styles, do you think this fight will play out as a technical chess match or evolve into a war of attrition? I think if Morel was smart, he would use his boxing attributes and it would be performed as a technical fight. But if he can't keep Benavidez off him, then it will be a war. You know what I mean? I'm really interested if Morel can actually put Benavidez on his back foot, right? We've always seen the Mexican monster move forward and move forward and move forward and move forward. Can he actually fight on his back foot? Can Morel put enough, damage or trickery to push Benavidez on his back foot? Force him to fight on his back foot. Can Benavidez fight on his back foot? Because Morel can fight on his back foot, right? Benavidez is going to come forward. So if he hurts Benavidez or puts a little pressure and adds, like you said, a war of attrition, can Benavidez go on the back foot at times? Tomorrow it will be Morel. Julio Cesar de la Cruz. What up, Paul? Benavidez sparred Triple G. He was in there with the best. He will beat Morel. Not just Triple G. Not just Kelly Pavlik. Not just Bivol. Not just Peter Quillen. Not just all this when he was under 18. You know what I mean? Benavidez has been putting in some serious work, man. He's been putting in some serious work. Shepard Vault, did you not watch the whole fight? Andrade lost. I'm a Canelo fan, but I'm going with Benavidez. I'm changing my profile pic to Morel knocked out after the fight. MT, chill. Chill. If Morel, what happens if Morel wins? What's your profile pic going to be, MT? If Morel wins, they're definitely having a rematch. Maybe not. From my understanding, this was the ceremonial weigh-in. Really, weigh-in is in the morning. Is that true? Yeah, JD. They did their weigh-in in the morning. Actually, Stephen Fulton missed his first attempt at the weigh-in. Everyone made weight today, but the one that originally came on the scale, came off, and had to do it again was Stephen Fulton. So, I'm a little concerned for Stephen Fulton in that fight. I've already picked him to lose the fight. I think Stephen Fulton's a great fighter. I'm not disrespecting. His resume is completely slept on. He gets shitted on for no reason. He was the man. He cleaned out the division minus the MJ fight. Anyway, comes out, fights a generational kind of talent, loses, has a long layoff, fights a puncher, which he didn't look good. Figueroa definitely made easy work of him, but he did go through the gauntlet, got back up like a champion. I'm expecting Figueroa to win that fight, but he didn't make the weight on his first attempt. He looked a little spacey on the weigh-in. So, I'm just a little concerned for him. True Canelo fans can't stand David. Laughing emoji, 1-5 porcupine. I think Benavidez will pull out the bag. I got a feeling Morel is going to be a sneaky one. He is going to be a sneaky one, man. Andy Cruz, future champion. He beats Keyshawn Davis again. Jack, I like Andy Cruz, but I got Keyshawn Davis. If they fight right now, Keyshawn Davis wins. Just a matter of difference of experience, right? Which is the case why I picked Benavidez to beat Morel, right? But Andy Cruz, Morel, they have great amateur background. Morel, to me though, feels more like a more seasoned professional than Andy Cruz. So, and he already has a better win on his resume than Andy Cruz does, which is Lennox Allen. And early on, in his first 5 fights, compared to David Morrell's first 5, David Morrell has a better. Laura's a Hall of Fame, easy. Yeah, stop hating on Laura. He is special. Bro, absolutely, man. Which, controversial pick. You know, some people go back and forth, depends on. But I thought, you know, Laura did his thing against the Canelo fight, you know. So, and he's still a world champion right now. As a southpaw on the inside, he's scoring with the right to the body, but not as effective as he should be. My 2 cents. Who you talking about? Morel as the southpaw? I just want to make sure I clarify. Remember, Morel is the Sicaro from Canelo. What does that mean? I'm sorry. Pretty muscles look good for picks, not boxing. Power fit training, coming in with some bars. True, it is. But it also tells you that this guy is clearly in shape. He's clearly ready, and he's ready for war, you know? And he looks more, I guess, maybe acclimated and comfortable at the weight, you know. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I'm just talking shit now. You know, a lot of muscles can tire you out. So we don't know. We don't know. These guys both didn't look amazing at their last fight. So we'll see how they look against each other. You know, they're both fighting essentially 168 pounders moving up. Laura. Hey, Benavidez is still, yeah, the black man, that was for the Laura comment. Hey, Benavidez is still at 67% win, so it's not so different from yesterday. Cubans are better amateur boxers. I agree. They typically, when they come over in pros, not a lot of them, you know, translate well. But this new age of Cuban fighters are very offensive minded. You know, they sit down on their punches better. You know, they use their attributes to kind of set up shots. But I like the Cuban boxers that are emerging. They want to fight, they want to hurt, and they want to knock you out. So this could be, if Morel gets the job done, this might be marking of a new age of Cuban fighters. You know what I mean? You know, Robisi came through. He became a fighter. You know what I mean? You know, he's moving his head. Morel beat a 2-time Olympic champion, also from Cuba, at 17. Julio Cesar de la Cruz at 17 years old. Oh, that's what you meant, Paul. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, he has a freakish amateur resume. You know? Like, David Morrell's amateur background is solid. This is not just some random guy from Cuba. This is a very talented guy who's been sought out and put to the test on his 3rd fight. And now here he is, fighting Benavidez. You know, some people say it could be a cash out, but I don't think so. I think Morel actually believes that he can beat what is considered a Mexican monster. And I do feel that he has a great chance of winning this fight. You know, I don't think this is just a regular easy fight for Benavidez. I think this is one of those fights where if he gets through Morel, in my opinion, he's everything that he says he is. He can fight guys that are slick, defensive, people his size, people who are strong, people with good amateur backgrounds, people that were former world champions. Now you showed it, my bad. Just blinked then. Oh my God, Harry. You tripping if you thought he was flinching. Morel's channeling champion energy. I agree. I like Morel's energy. Y'all be saying anything. That's a Mexican lie. Morel's body is vulnerable. Do you think CCTV ain't catch it? Morel's body's vulnerable. Is it? Does Morel get hurt to the body? I don't really see Morel get hurt to the body. He looks ready, right, Great Gambino? Benavidez whoops on Morel. Benavidez cannot outbox Morel. Too much salsa dance. If Benavidez cannot wear Morel down, it's over with. Bro spreading misinformation. Canelo's shadow gonna beat up Morel. Probably meant he blinked. Morel won the battle of body language. It's almost like he went from playful to locked in. And that's all I wanted to see. That he has that switch. And that face off. Yeah, you know, like I said, every fighter's a little nervous when they step on the stage, and it's a little different. And maybe there is some nerves of just the moment, right? But he locks in. He locks in. There's a moment right there, boom. locked in. And that's all I want to see from a fighter. They always talk about they have a switch. Can you turn that switch on? And this right here lets me know he can. Look, he's talking shit. He's getting... This wasn't like Gervonta Tank Davis, Frank Martin. Like, you know, that was kind of a slow hand movement gesture, so he can see it coming. You know, it's nothing like catching him off guard. So I'm not going to say Benavidez attempted to make him flinch. I'm not going to say that. But you can see that he's completely locked in. He's completely ready. The confidence is coming right here. And the intimidation factor and the will to sell pay-per-view, because Benavidez has to make this entertaining. You know, he's aware of that. You know, it doesn't seem like it's working. I don't think it's working. I think it's just now promotion's done. Trash talking's done. Peace and love, right? Peace and love. Blew him a kiss and peace. You know, it's game time tomorrow, man. Morel will get on his skates. I mean, I don't blame him. He's going to have to use his attributes. No, he can't. Morel, don't throw enough. Morel is a lot better than Lara by a long distance. Well, I can't say that, Paul, only just because the fact that Lara has done he's a world champion at his age. He's the oldest middleweight champion of all time. Like, that's a fact. And yeah, I know he fought essentially a 140, 140, 7-pounder last fight, but Lara is still showing consistency at his age. So I'm gonna give Lara the props because Morel hasn't done anything yet. So, but if you're basing off of eye test and the stuff that you like and what you see, I can see the potential of him being better than Lara. It's just unproven. So, and this Benavidez fight early on in his career will automatically start sizing up those type of comparisons, rightfully so. The fight plays out, Benny whooping on Morel. Man, I think Benavidez is not going to just go out there, honestly, Rafa. I don't think he's just going to go out there and start putting. I think he's going to be smart. I think he's going to be calculated. I think he's going to be doing effective aggression, and he's going to try and test things out. I just can't see Benavidez just coming out winging, knowing the style that Morel has. I think his dad understands that, and I think that they're going to be very patient, but effective aggression is what they're going to try to attempt. And if he can hurt Morel early on, then yeah, he's going to get him out. But, Morel's going to be fresh, slippery. He's going to be elusive. He's going to be athletic. I would be surprised if either one of these... Well, I would be more willing to bet that Morel, if anyone gets hurt early, it would be Benavidez because Morel's explosive athleticism, right? Not saying that Benavidez isn't tricky and isn't fast, but I just don't think Benavidez is going to come out blazing like that. If he does, then I'm completely wrong. But even with the Demetrius Andrade fight, he waited, he caught patterning, he caught, shot. It was a pacing shot that actually hurt Demetrius, dropped him, and then completely the momentum changed, and then that's when he dominated. So I think there'll be a moment if Benavidez is able to be patient and then change the momentum, that's when the dominance comes on. But I don't think he's going to put himself in a position where he's going to let Morel catch him early on, because I think his defense is underrated. I think there's not going to be early on a lot of like crazy drama. I think it's going to be very tactical. Maybe some bombs being, attempted, but I think the fight really breaks out more in the middle rounds when someone finally gets an opportunity to get something big. And I think the fight will be dragged out to the later rounds, either decision or someone gets drowned out. Let's see. Benavidez's back is definitely touching the ropes. I mean, look, if Benavidez's back is touching the ropes, then we have a whole different fight. We have a whole different fight because now Benavidez is officially the boxer. And I've never seen Benavidez on his back foot being the boxer for a long period of time. Maybe moments of, spurts of shots kind of freezing him. But Benavidez completely on the ropes on his back foot, never seen it. Neither looks good at the last fight. Facts, Garfield. Neither one. About to put my bets in now. That was all I was waiting for 100%. He can't win. Canelo couldn't beat Lara. How would we beat Morel? I mean, Canelo ain't never fighting Morel. Morel's moving is a good thing because Benavidez is like headhunting and come forward. Morel has to have a great output for 12 rounds. Remember, guys, Caleb Plant did really well against David Benavidez too. Now, don't get me wrong, Benavidez has learned from the Caleb Plant fight, so he's a completely different fighter, a better fighter from the Caleb Plant fight. So I'm not going to say he hasn't learned from that, but he does have difficulties in the past where you got a guy who... Also, Caleb Plant had a great amateur background. He was an Olympic alternative. You know, I don't know a lot of people know that, but, you know, he was essentially on the Olympic team. So, obviously, he has a great amateur background as well. So, that very defined, slick, elusive amateur background style can give David Benavidez problems. No way Canelo could beat Morel. I don't know if Morel can fight on his back, but only seen it for one fight for just a while. Because a lot of the fights that Morel has also fought is very similar like Benavidez. Smaller guys that are coming up in weight. Granted, the Lennox Allen win was a good fight to win. But a lot of the guys that he fought didn't have, you know, top 10, 168 pedigree, you know. Some of these guys were 160-pounders coming up, you know. And some of these other guys were good, just not considered great in the division. This would be Morel's legitimate first real solid name on his resume outside of Lennox Allen, you know. And I say Lennox Allen so much just because for a guy coming on and fighting a guy on his third fight like that, that's impressive. If he fought Lennox Allen now, then I would have completely different expectations. But at the time, 2-0, fighting him for his third fight, that was a huge jump. So, and this is another huge jump. David Benavidez has been in there with Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade. I know smaller and older, but David Lemieux, you know, I mean, significantly smaller. But, you know, the experience, you know, of these guys. Kyron Davis, a guy who sparred Canelo and Terrence Crawford. You know, there is legitimate credibility. You're wrong on everything, G. I'm not hating either. Don't worry, I'm going to get to the comments. I'm getting to the comments. I'll catch up. Okay, makes sense. Fulton wasn't looking too confident to weigh-in. Yeah, Fulton missed weight. Figueroa always has to deal with guys that don't make weight. He made weight. What up, Unruly? He made weight, but he had to make it on the second attempt. And I think that just shows the problems that probably Fulton's going through. You know, he hasn't shown... like a lot of the stuff that he's done with media, like I've interviewed Fulton. He didn't seem very thrilled, right? And I've known Fulton for like almost 10 years. And he's a cool guy. I can call Fulton. I got his phone number. You know, I'm hitting him up at times. You know, I think he posted on social media once he had like a car accident. His son wasn't in it. You know, I reached out, chatted, wished everything was good. So it's not like me and Fulton having a strange relationship. But I feel like right now that Fulton's mindset is just stressed out. You know, he's trying to block out critics. A lot of these things, he's fighting a guy who arguably could have won either or. He's moving up in weight. He's been dropped his last 2 fights. You know, and now he's coming in missing weight for the first time. You know, those are all red flags. So, and he looked a little spacey at the weigh-in. You know, Lara's more proven than Morel, though. In his prime, Lara was a better boxer. Morel's just bigger and stronger. Yeah, Lara's proven. Morel isn't, so we just can't even, you know, this is Morel's first real test, so. That's true. I'm a true Mexican. I love David Benavidez. Yeah, a lot of people love David Benavidez and Canelo. Benny's going to win. Stop. This is going to be a better version of the Cuban than Canelo versus Lara. Stop. I see it. Relax, Rafael. Paul and Rafael. Oh, actually, it looked like Rafael was saying the whole time. All right. That's the problem when you have to fight in your back for the output from your opponent. It's cut in half. Facts. This is a nice card. It's going to be a fun card. Absolutely. Fulton's coming in on an actual scooter was cringe. Someone get this man a better idea. He's done that before. That's kind of his thing. So, but at this point, if he comes on a scooter or not, he needs to win this fight. So he needs to win this fight. That's really what's the most important out of all this. 250 watching, only 50 likes. It's a free show. Support, right, Hunchman? I appreciate it, man. Laura is more proven, but didn't have the skill set and power Morel has. Yeah. Raphael says people don't know who Quillen is. Short-lived champion. Benny whoops every fighter at 168 pounder in the last 10 years. That includes Jones and Hopkins. Yeah, I mean Peter Quillen. I know short-lived, and I know he did his move of dropping the WBO, spending some time with his family, collecting some money, and then coming back losing Dan Chicos. But Peter Quillen on the rise was scary. You know, hard puncher. You know, in his prime. So, and he was sparring him at a young age. You know? Yes, Morel is southpaw. Yep, okay. Knockout knife by the monster. Who want to bet? Alright, so I see the polls haven't really changed too much now. It's been stuck at 66-34%. So, you know, it seems like Benavidez definitely has the slight over half, which is that type of fight. You know? Because people see the potential Morel has. Take the ninth. Did you see Morel was showing off the abs, and then he takes a look at David Benavidez' abs, sticks his tongue out. Abs don't win fights. Absolutely, they don't win fights. But these guys both are moving up in 175. These guys are trying to get acclimated. You know, they both didn't look amazing on their second fight. I mean, their first fight at 175. So these things are a little, you know, something that I do look at. You know, has Benavidez transitioned into 175, you know, comfortably? You know, is he healthy? You know, is it just genetics, you know? He got a little stomach pudge, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that have a little stomach pudge and knock people out, so Morel's not ready for body shots. Morel beat, yeah, I see that. It's good to have some fat. That's energy. I see Shine. You know, Storm, that's that dad bod. You know, and dads be out here whooping ass, so. Amateur means nothing in pros. I mean, it, to a certain degree, it means something. It means that you were good enough and have a good enough head start to come in the pros. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean like Robeisy Ramirez. I was at his first fight. He was the gold medalist that beat Shakur, right? You know, the infamous video of Shakur crying, you know. That guy turned pro and lost his first professional fight. He got dropped and lost the first 4-rounder of his career, right? The first fight of his career. I was next to Bomac, watched it. We were in shock, like, whoa. So it doesn't always mean that. However, it still gives you, you know, and he later became a world champion afterwards. It gives you a level of a measuring stick, right? That a lot of these guys who do medal typically are kind of good, right? Like, if I go down the Olympic gold medalists, right, in the recent years, right? Boxing Olympics, right? And I'll just say some names. You know, obviously, Clarissa Shields is the first one that gets heavily reminded. Let's see, winners. List of Olympic. We're going to do this, all right? So, like, obviously, like, Lomachenko, right? You know, these guys obviously haven't really hit the professional scene, but I'm just going to just biasly pick for my narrative, right? You know, in recent time, like, look, Lomachenko, Clarissa Shields, Galal Yafai, Robeisy Ramirez, Gamboa, you know, these guys have became world champions. It does mean something, you know, even if it's like not a gold medal, you know, Pernell Whitaker, Oscar De La Hoya, you know, silver medals, Keyshawn Davis, Andy Cruz, you know, Keyshawn Davis is about to fight for a world title coming up. You know, Danier, yeah, he had some political issues. Raniel and Iglesias, you know what I mean? Solid. You know, Alexander Usyk. You know, George Foreman was a gold medalist. Lennox Lewis. Ali, obviously. Vladimir Klitschko. You know, Anthony Joshua. You know, Katie Taylor. So it does mean something. It is a measuring stick. You know what I mean? Andre Ward. So I'm not saying it immediately translates into professionals, but to just completely ignore someone's amateur background. You know, it's David Morrell's amateur record. 130. Okay, so David Morrell's amateur was reported 130-2. Other reports say it was 130-5. Okay, so I wasn't completely wrong when I said 2. It's either 2 or 5, but that's an impressive ass resume for an amateur. And you can't just say like, yo, him coming in, it doesn't mean anything. It does mean something. You know, it's a very, very, very solid amateur background. Means that he has fundamentals, right? So, oh, Mexican Eliminator. I didn't even know what that was. Sorry. Okay. Benavidez, QVO. Yeah, Morel's Q abs ain't gonna ready for Davis body shots. Amateur means something. Ask Lomachenko, Laura Rigondeaux. That's what I'm saying. Amateur is the key to pros. Amateur means something. Ask Lomachenko. Yeah. Morel is a live dog, pro league experience. The only reason why I ain't picking him. That's the only reason why I'm picking Benavidez too, is because of the pro experience as well. Benavidez left hooks is gonna hurt Morel. Let's see. I appreciate you coming in the chat again, champ, after I answered your question. You know. Thanks. I'm glad that you came in here with the most positive energy on planet Earth, because, you know, I do not see Morel as a one-time coming, but he is going to take a beating on Saturday night. How did you turn into a fighter for Robisi? Dude got destroyed by Espinoza twice. I mean, that's a tough dude, man. All right, cool. So, all right, so this is what I want to do. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull up the screen. All right. I want receipts. All right. Right before I go, right, on the side, I need you guys right here in the chat. Let me put this up. Right here. You see this big thing? This is going to be my receipt that I'm going to use after the fight, all right? I'm going to play this. Boop, boop, boop. All right. This is your receipt. In the chat, just say Benavidez or Morel. That's it. Right before I head out, put Benavidez or Morel. It's going to have your YouTube name. It's going to have your YouTube name. And it's going to have your prediction, all right? So my prediction is that I got Benavidez winning a very tough fight where he brings David Morel into the late rounds and has a very either close on paper but decisive win against Morel, or he manages to get Morel out. Just simple as that. Tough, decisive win, or he gets Morel out. So let's see. Oh, my camera just took it. I need it right here. And I'm going to play, listen, I'm doing a live chat, live watch party Saturday. A live watch party Saturday. This will be the receipt. I will clip this segment out. I will play it. So if you come back on Saturday after the fight, I will be playing it so that you guys can see and eat crow. All right? So I got the receipts all right here. I got everyone's names on the side. See, right? I got everyone's names and their predictions on the side. So you can't even... My last comment did not get posted. What was your last comment? I'm sorry. I was just so much. Just put it again, Raphael. Tell me who you guys got right now. All right. I see Benavidez, Morel, Benavidez. Paul says Morel. Benavidez is too much. All right. I'm gonna put up the Morels at the top so that, because that's the underdog pick, right? Morel, right? So if I see Morel, I'm going to put it at the top. If it's Benavidez, you get put on the side right here, which is still glory pick, right? You got it right. But if you put Morel, I'm going to put you at the top. Anytime, any word, Morel. So I see your profile pic, the name, Morel. If you believe in Benavidez, just put it Morel. I had a statement before the Bear Kid statement. Oh boy, stole it. I'm gonna scroll back too. Let's see. Where's some more Morels I can find? Plants not Morel, no power. Let's see. Morel won the body language. Morel will get on his skates. Okay, so Morel to score a knockdown. Morel by KO. Benavidez spar Triple G. He will remain undefeated for a long time. I posted yours? Okay. Dudes better be specific how they win. I mean, look, you get more brownie points. Look, I'm clipping the end of this and I'm playing it after live. Go Benny. Team Benavidez. Triple G was beaten by Cubans. Benavidez by late stoppage majority decision. JD has Morel. Don't expect Morel fans to even show up. I mean, look, if Morel loses, the Morel fans ain't gonna come in. But if Benavidez loses, will they come in? I'm back. Yep. Welcome back. A big payday for Morel. Benavidez has the edge. Good chat podcast. Morel by TKO. Caleb doesn't have power, huh? Benavidez. I got Benavidez. He's going to get him with that. Benavidez. My boy Daniel Neveretti in the house. I already know who he got. This is Daniel Bob. You know, bro, I know your government name. I know everything, bro. You're an OG. Benavidez by TKO stoppage. The Super Chat King has spoken, man. It's over with. Since he came in now, Morel has no chance now. Morel might lose one day. Prove me wrong. I'm honest. I'm coming back. Benavidez' favorite. Morel has pretty good chance. Benavidez' best KO was against Medina. Couldn't do anything with Plant. Morel doesn't have the big name what Benavidez has. I put 3K on the stoppage, bro. Get out of here. Ronnie Shields is in the ace in the hole. Is the ace in the hole? Ronnie Shields is a great trainer. I put 3K. My lord. Benavidez 1-3 round stoppage. Close fight, but Benavidez. Stand the jab. Like button before you bounce. Appreciate it. So for everyone, right before I go and head out, I just wanted to make a quick, easy reaction show. I appreciate all you guys. So who I'm going to have for my co-host for the call out the fight tomorrow, right? This is my homie. This is my G. He was actually going to go to the fight, right? And he was going to go to the fight. He wanted to see the fight in person. Essentially he was about to head out. I talked to him this week and he was like, look, if you going live and you want me to come on. So this is my man Lonnie B, all right? I'm doing something different. I'm going to bring my boy Lonnie B. He does a lot of great breakdowns and stuff. He sparred Arthur Betterby. You've probably seen him before. He sparred David Benavidez. He sparred Caleb Plant. He's picking Benavidez to win, But he definitely recognizes how good Morel. There's 2 breakdowns that he has. One before the Alexander fight and one after the Alexander fight. So if you hear kind of some sort of, conflicting stuff. It's just because one's before and one's after. Yeah, so this is one before Alexander, one after. Definitely check out Lonnie B. He gets great breakdowns, but he's going to be able to kind of explain while we're doing the back and forth co-hosting. I'm gonna be the co-host. That's what's up, Raphael. You said boo, Lottie B. No, I'm gonna do a live. I'm gonna do a live. All right. Normally I'm at the fights, but I'm gonna do a live, and I'm gonna do it with my boy Lonnie B because, boo, because he's been in the ring with David Benavidez. He's been in the ring with David Benavidez. He can tell you what he does well, how his punches are. You can talk to literally a guy who's been in the ring with him, right? Shared the ring. And he said he believed Benavidez was using back then too. I watched this interview. Hey, look. Hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, all right? I think Lonnie would be pretty fun, pretty colorful. And look, you can come in and crucify him too, all right? You can crucify him too. But it's a guy that I can bounce things. I could debate with. Because we're not going to agree with everything. Like, me and Lonnie ain't going to agree 100%. So it's not going to be two guys sitting in synonymous agreement. You're going to have two guys. They're going to go back and forth. Go back to my comment. Morel will win the 6th round. Okay. Yeah, Lonnie B is cool. Yeah, I like Lonnie B. Lonnie is just going to bring some insight, you know. And he's going to tell you his honest opinion. You know what I mean? His honest, genuine opinion. You know, versus just having a guy like me, right, who just sits here and covers fights and gives an opinion. I ain't never been punched by David Benavidez. I don't ever want to be punched by David Benavidez. I don't ever want to be punched by David Morrell. Now, he hasn't been punched by David Morrell, but he's been punched by Arthur Betterby, which I think probably punches harder than David Morrell. So he can give us some insight what it's like to get punched in the face, how to move, how to assess, you know, what some of the things that he was able to have success in sparring with David Benavidez, some of the things he couldn't get away, and some things that David Benavidez does really well that he struggled with, and he can recognize when he takes over. So I did see that. Yo, Champ, real quick, because I saw your little comments earlier, right? I give love back when love is. No, I like Lonnie. Lonnie's solid. I look. I'm not a hater. So you agree is about race then? What do you mean by this? Like, comment, subscribe. Champ, I understand that you got certain things that you like, certain people, certain attribute, whatever the case is, right? At the end of the day, right? But you still a fan of the channel, right? You've seen a lot of interviews. There's a lot of people that do interviews. I've done a lot of interviews. We have a lot of other correspondents, right? I don't mind giving people the benefit of the doubt if they give me the benefit of the doubt, right? So let's start on a positive note. You know what I mean, Champ? And if not, then I'm just going to have to cook you in the chat every time you come in. Comics Legend, what's up, man? I always wondered, do you collect comic books? Yeah, I have Benavidez winning. Canelo was on Roy's too, probably thing. Look, the whole steroids thing, right? Look, I'm not pointing the fingers, but before I let you go, you know, there's always suspicion when it comes to these guys, right? You know, it's boxing. It's a dirty game. You know, some people have suspected Benavidez because his relationship with Memo Heredia, you know, and people have suspected things with Morel because of stuff Benavidez said, or some of the people that have, you know, fought him and claimed that there was no drug testing after. And I've done some of those interviews. So because of that, you know, I don't put it past either guy, you know. So if these fighters feel like they have some insight and they want to say those things, then that's just what it comes down to, you know. I think Lonnie's been pretty honest, and you know, yep, no matter how much people try to deny it's all about race, just can't be delusional about it. It's always about race, you know what I mean? But we try not to make race the main subject. So Benavidez gets hits too much, he does, but he has a good defense. Another $5 super chat. Daniel Navarrete, Lonnie B be praying on Benavidez's downfall. He's been picking against him since playing. So that's what I'm trying to say. Daniel, he's picking Benavidez to win this fight. But Abeko said Morel was juicing for sure after the fight. Yeah. So there's a story on both, you know? Like, both these guys have been suspicious. So, but, you know, there's not a lot of, like, real journalism going on in boxing. And I'm not saying I am a journalist and I'm trying to be a journalist, but, you know, a lot of those things kind of get swept underneath the rug a lot. So someone would have to contact Minnesota's athletic commission, find out it's true. But Ron, has anyone ever said you look like Floyd Schofield? No. And I don't think those guys like me, comic legends, because I continue to pick Shakur Stevenson to beat them. So I don't know if there's going to be any pictures of me and Floyd Schofield hanging out. So out of the 29 people Benavidez fought, who really mattered? I would say his best win still holds is Caleb Plant. Cormel Moan can't make that weight long. No, he can't. If you look at his box rec, his weight is all over the place. Paul says Elise Iglesias will be avoided by Benavidez, Morel, but he's the guy that beat Morel in the amateurs. He's one of the few. One of the five or one of the two. So, but yeah, Lonnie be praying. But Lonnie's fun, man. That's why I want to bring. And we'll bring other fighters and other guests too. So it's not just going to be Lonnie. Morel's more technique, more power, more footwork, a 4-inch reach advantage, and taller. I mean, this is not an easy fight for Benavidez. Comparing to his last weigh-in, Benavidez has more upper body muscle and fight, arms, shoulders. He looks better. Yeah, and that's something we, Mr. Mirage, we looked at. I paused earlier at his, like, arms, and he still looks strong. When he flexed his arms, you can see, like, he's very physically strong. You know, he just has a little pudge around his waist. You know, that just could be physique. Benavidez fought 29 bums. Morel, more technique. Okay. I'm confused. How did we get on the race? Something about, I don't know. I don't know how it went. I just saw something what Merge said. And Morel's more technique. All right, I keep repeating that, Fabulous. I see it, Fabulous. Why is Morel suspicious? Two fighters that fought him claimed that they were originally supposed to get drug testing post-fight and they didn't. So, you know, they feel that because it was what they felt was obligated, they never got it. And now after a loss, they're like, how come there wasn't drug testing? Lonnie B ain't picking Benavidez. I just seen an interview that said otherwise. He picked Benavidez. All right, let me double check. Because I know that the first one was before the Alexander. The first one, so this one was actually an older interview that got posted recently. But,
David's really not slick. He just uses his size to wear guys down. In my opinion.
Benavidez? No.
That's a 50-50 fight. David Morel and David.
So first time he said it was a 50-50 fight. All right, Rod. And the second one. So you're pretty much saying. So you're saying that the fact that David Benavidez, because he was a bigger star.
So when I didn't fight him, they fought David wise. It makes no sense.
Hands up.
Listen, he didn't do it, but I seen couple shots in there. David Morel kind of. Like, you know, kind of bluffed it when he acted like he got hit low, but it wasn't. It was a body shot. And he kind of, like, bluffed it, like, act like it was low to buy that little time. With David, that's not going to work because David is an awesome body puncher. And David put punches together.
I don't know, Daniel. Lonnie.
And David going to be throwing way more. You know what I'm saying? Like, David Benavidez is not going to be trying to fight like he's just trying to go the distance. He's going to come out gunning, like him trying to throw hard shots, trying to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? But David Morel is slick. But I just think David is. I think David is really good. I think he's really good.
See, he's picking Benavidez, man. Come on, man. Lonnie's definitely picking Benavidez. Previously, there was certain probably Benavidez hate, but the Alexander fight, in his eyes, gave him props. When everyone.
Benavidez.
How do you think they both look at? Yes. He's picking Benavidez. He got Benavidez. I didn't see him fight. I just. They're both right there. Look, this one has 66,000 2 months ago, and I did one recently updated, which wanted to clarify because I know that this one was done before the Alexander fight. I wanted to make sure it was consistent, and it changed a little bit. It is hard to bet against Davis. Now I picked Morel in the other interview, meaning it's 50-50. Like I said, that one, Fabulous, was done prior to the Alexander fight. So when I did an updated one with him, that was after the Alexander fight, and after they both looked at how they looked at 175. So I'm giving context. This one right here is the updated one done like a month ago. This one was done before the Alexander fight. Granted, if I wasn't going to be able to get an interview with Lonnie anytime soon, I already had a prediction video. But in my mind, wasn't technically as updated as this one right here. So, no, I seen it on another YouTube channel I meant. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know then. And then Lonnie then come here Saturday and we going to get, doesn't matter, he's indecisive. That's fair. All right. Who do you have winning between Pacheco and Munguia? Well, Munguia is coming off a knockout. So I need him to bounce back first. And after he bounces back, then if he bounces back, then he's in a better place. But coming off of a knockout, then if they fought hypothetically right now, and I know Munguia is doing the rematch, but let's say hypothetically there wasn't, I would probably maybe favor Pacheco just because, Munguia is taking a lot of punishment. So, but Pacheco is he's still green. He still is a slow starter. When he finally gets in the mix of it, he starts to pick it up a lot. But then in the late rounds, he looked tired. He got hurt. So there's still green. He's still green. But Pacheco versus Iglesias. I got Iglesias. That boy's different. Iglesias. They didn't test Morrell because PBC at the time Showtime had a micro budget. Drug screening isn't cheap. I mean, I'm not accusing or justifying. You know what I mean? I'm just, those drug test programs are not cheap. Most boxers want to take the risk and keep as much money. And the thing is, I also asked, like, Senna Abeko is like, with knowing these issues, what made you want to fight? He claimed that he felt that he fought other people that have cheated before and he felt it didn't affect. So in this case, if he cheated or not, he still was feeling confident. But at the end of it, he still gave him his props on as a fighter. He's, a good fighter. But, he wished there was drug testing because he feels that afterwards, there is a gaping hole of clarity in his mind. Like he doesn't have closure. And, he feels that, other people have also felt the same issue, and now it builds suspicion in his mind. Because, Calvin Henderson also said the same thing with me. And, there's a consistency there. So when there's a consistency of fighters, and the same thing, they just felt like it was a great opportunity and they just didn't want to pull out, and, it's hard to walk away from an opportunity like that. So, but either here or there, they're both in VADA. They both have passed VADA. They're both content with the results, and no complaints has been here at this point. So it is what it is. Now they're here, they got to fight. Who will count Benavidez wild misses? Oh my God! You're gonna do Paul? You're gonna do a miss counter? Morel look like God-like shape. He does. He looks chiseled. He looks like the part. He looks like if you put a strap on him right now, he does look like a legitimate champion. So. But yeah, I got Iglesias. How do you think Pitbull fight gonna play out? I got Pitbull by vicious decision. I just don't know much about his opponent, so I just don't really see too much interest. Yeah, who cares about Pitbull? Dude, it's a cherry. Munguia's defense has always been bad his whole career. It's just a matter of time before that happened. Yeah, it was just very unique that it was that fight and not with an actual puncher, a guy who has little to minimal amount of knockouts. So. I have a question. I know the answer. Why do you think Morrell says monster style is built for his style? Like you said, the answer. Styles make fights. He compared him to RoboCop. Very fundamentally basic is how he feels. Very obvious and come forward, straightforward, doesn't move his feet. So because he's very, how would I say it? Capable of moving around, good lateral movement, slick Cuban style, he feels that style benefits him. So, he's very defensively responsible, what he probably feels. And he feels that Benavidez is a wild, swinging, come forward, relentless, strong puncher that he can evade, outthink, and outmaneuver. So, we need to see Pitbull versus Tank 2. No. Before used to, but Tank would sleep Pitbull in a rematch. Hot take. Tank will sleep Pitbull in the rematch with 2 functional working hands, which I'm not taking away the performance that Pitbull did in the first fight because he was fighting on a short notice. So he had to get in shape for a couple weeks, which is very impressive. So obviously be completely different with a full camp in preparation, knowing that that's who you're going to fight. But I'm saying that's why he thinks that infamous boxing. He thinks he's defensively responsible with his Cuban style. That's why he probably thinks his style, David Benavidez, is perfect for his style, But I was at the fight in LA with David Morrell. He did not impress me at 175, but style make fights. But yeah, the Pitbull and Tank, Ryan and Tank 2 will probably happen because of money. That's a big fight. I used to think that muscles was necessary in boxing, but boxers never really changed my mind. Yeah, that's just, that's just like a genetics thing. Some guys can get super in shape and some people can't, But skills pay the bills, like they always say, And I've seen fat guys completely demolish chiseled guys just because they know how to box, But what I do like about him being in shape just tells me that if his conditioning's solid, he has good road work, and he can go the distance and go 12, then this is going to be a hard-earned fight for Benavidez. You got 1K on Benavidez, KO on Pitbull. Bro, where are you getting this money? No, we don't, Andrew. We don't need to see Tank. We need to see Tank Shakur or T. I agree. It's never going to happen. That's why we get Tank versus Ryan 2. Void, counter, very hard. Go watch this fight. Go watch this. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, the question was posed, why does he think, David Benavidez' style is fit for him? And that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think, in his mind, that's how he perceives himself. So he perceives himself as this defensively slick boxer who uses lateral movement, and he's RoboCop, so he's going to play into my hands. So, yeah. Benavidez' feet are slow, but his upper body's fast, twitchy. Absolutely peel out. Look, the way that he hit Boo Boo, he had high guard, and all of a sudden, boom, offensive slick counter. Benavidez can do that. When he's up close, mid-range, he can get out of a shot and counter you. He's very fast, very relentless. So, ducking to the side. How he called Boo Boo, the way that you described it is exactly how he called Boo Boo. Yeah, no, it's all good. Benavidez is crazy fast. He is. And his workout, did you guys see his workout? He answered, how does he feel at this weight? He was like, did you guys see my workout? I'm the only dude that legitimately gave an actual media workout, which is true. A lot of guys don't like doing media workout. Either they're too cool to do it, or they're just trying to cut weight. And so Benavidez, full of energy. So now you cannot KO Pitbull. Dude has a neck. He's too short and too masked. Tank not KO. Bro, after you get so much punishment in the fight, and Pitbull's style isn't a style of not getting hit. He gets hit, and after a while, bro, I'm telling you, Tank when we want to break his hand, Pitbull's giant head again. If Pitbull goes on, if he fights Tank again and doesn't get knocked out, then I would say that Pitbull has one of the greatest chins in boxing of all time. Just my personal opinion, because I feel like Tank couldn't get enough leverage. He's gotten some good shots, but I was at that fight. Tank looked very concerned, and he was boxing him. He had, like very, very, very little chances to really like go in on him. He landed some good shots, but I'm talking about like 2 hands. Tank, who goes in a rematch in preparation, knowing what Pitbull brings. Yeah, I think Tank. But I could be wrong, though. I could be completely wrong. Pitbull could have a godlike chin, and I'm just bigging up Tank just for what. So, yeah, let's move on for that. Who do you think won the fight with Morel versus Hot Rod? You know what? I'm not going to lie. I didn't watch the fight in its entirety. I was at the fight, but I was doing interviews. I was all over the place. So, I went back and watched highlights, and I did see a lot of issues for David Morrell. But I know that David Morrell brought in Hot Rod as a sparring partner for this camp. So if he had any issues with that specific fighter, I'm pretty sure that he's probably got some good work afterwards. So shout out to Hot Rod and Morrell kind of hanging out and getting each other and prepared for their next fight. So, that's very interesting for them to do that. So I'm expecting a different David Morrell, to be honest, but I'll still lean with the more experienced professional fighter. And so he's like an alien with boxing gloves on. Yeah, you're right. Pitbull's crew's awesome, but Tank's my favorite. His whole camp's awesome. Yeah, Coach Kenny and Calvin, I've been to Baltimore a couple of times. Those guys are really chill, super nice to me. So, and it's perfect. He has fought in that way in the pros before. If you see Cubans amateurs difficult to hit, he can do the same thing than Rigo. Morel looked very basic in the Hot Rod fight. He didn't look. They both looked like shit. And when I interviewed Morel, he told me, he was like, yeah, I know I look like shit. I know I look bad. So he recognizes it. He's not in any denial. He's not blaming the awkward style. He's not saying the opponent. He didn't make any excuses. He was like, yeah, I look terrible. I agree. And I'm going to work on it. He let Hot Rod off the ropes a lot of times. Couldn't cut off the ring. Yeah, he didn't look good. Zerto's too big for Jai. I don't know, man. But Jai is a beast, though, man. So, but he makes fundamental flaws as well. And he likes to fight. 160 sit Benavidez. Morel got a proper lazy jab in the later rounds. If Benavidez can make it far, he's landing that left hook easy. Let me read that again here. Morel got a proper lazy jab in later rounds. If Benavidez... Oh, okay. Pretty much he throws a lazy jab counter over it. Yeah. Not a fan of... I'm a fan of people using jabs, but not lazy ones. They're in the same weight class. Morel was easily getting countered at the time. Didn't know what to do. He also dropped his hands a lot. He didn't look good. He didn't look good. I went back and watched, a good chunk. Looked bad. Come on, Tank Pitbull was lit. Y'all bugging. No, that was... It's just a fight that ain't gonna happen again. You know what I mean? Kind of like, I get what he's saying. It's kind of like a wasted breath, to kind of talk about, waste of breath talking about a fight that probably never happen again. But it was a fun fight in LA. Zerto also needs to work on his defense. He does get hit a lot. Chris Billum Smith and him went to war. So, and Brandon Glanton, who's a heavy puncher, is about to fight Billum Smith, coming up on that Chris Eubank Conor Ben fight. So keep an eye on that fight. That should be. He's the guy that took Apochi's head off. Remember F.A. Apochi with PBC? Yeah, Brandon Glanton beat the shit out of him, and he's about to fight Chris Billum Smith. So if he demolishes him, then, that's a very serious cruiserweight on the rise. And one of his losses came to a guy who failed a drug test that got suspended for 6 years for how bad. So Hot Rod is good, though, just because he's not... Hot Rod's tricky. He went and didn't he sleep Sullivan Barrera on a pro box card? So that's cool for them. They trained together. Yep. I think there's some interviews, if you go look it up, P33, that he talked about it. They sparred each other. I want to see Louis D. Cuba Sr. versus Benavidez Sr. New co-main if they want. Nah, man, that's terrible. I noticed the weird thing that Morel and Benavidez were doing with their arms are long enough to cover their heads and body at the same time when they cover up. Yeah, they got really freakish high guards, I guess. I mean, does Morel have it? I know Benavidez has a pretty... Yeah, I guess they both have freakish long arms. They can do a solid high guard that covers up most of their body. Kind of like... But no one's better than Winky Wright. Winky Wright's elbow literally touched his hip. So, who you got? Scooter Fig? I got Figueroa. Just something seems off about Fulton. If I remember correctly, Luis the Cubist said Morel is the best Cuban he's ever seen. That says a lot. He has worked with the best of them. I mean, keep in mind, though, T-Fock, he's also promoting. So even though he's saying it, he's also being a promoter. You know, it's like Bob Arum promoting his fighters, you know. He might just overly exaggerate just to sell the fighter, but at the same time, you know, he could be very genuine. You think Canelo ducks Iglesias? Why would Canelo even entertain that guy? And I'm not saying that as like a disrespect, as like I don't think Iglesias is a good fighter. It's just, you know, Canelo is clearly in the position of just picking fights, you know. And if he's gonna pick some fighters, Iglesias is definitely not a guy he's gonna pick, you know. You know, there's good guys around him, you know. But Canelo, at the end of the day, has earned the right to pick and choose. I hate to say it like that, but as a boxing fan, you know, we would like to get treated once in a while. And we haven't been treated for a very long time, Canelo. So, you know, the last time we were treated was probably your 168 run to fight Caleb Plant. I think that was an okay treat. You know, I think that was a good treat. But outside of that, you know, I guess Billy Joe, but not really. That's probably for the UK. Yeah, Figueroa. And that's why Scoot's the underdog if he won the first fight. And why Scoot the underdog if he won the first fight? So this is my breakdown, Infamous. Scoot doesn't have a glass chin. You tripping. This is my thing. I had Scooter as the favorite in the first fight, and I picked Scooter to win the fight. And I picked Scooter at the end that I thought he did win the fight. The reason why he's the underdog now is that Brandon Figueroa since then has gotten significant better performances over the course of time. You know, he's been winning. He looks more comfortable at his weight. He's built a lot more confidence. You know, he's more like in his prime. While Fulton has been in 2 tough fights, he got dropped in 2 of them and got stopped. He's been inactive, and, you know, that all plays a factor of, like, you know, who people are going to want to pick. It has nothing to do with the level of respect that people don't have for him. I mean, some people might call him a bum, but Fulton's resume is one of the best resumes that can happen in that weight class. He's fought everyone and beat everyone minus MJ. And it wasn't until Inoue came in the weight class. Now it's completely different. Yeah, Tapales later came on and beat MJ, but that was later, you know, done after the fact. But at the time when Fulton and MJ were both unified champions, Fulton was the man. He was the best guy in the division. He beat everybody, you know. If you looked at the top 10, he probably got like 8 scalps. He has like 8 undefeated fighters underneath his resume. He went the WBO route when the PBC usually don't. Like, Fulton had every right to be the favorite the first time. But, and plus Brandon's performances were kind of, you know, he had a questionable draw. But now, Brandon Figueroa is like tearing through shit and beating the shit out of all these guys. And now he looks comfortable at this weight. And, you know, Fulton, unfortunately, doesn't really seem like he seems like the same guy that going in the first fight. And he also missed weight coming in this fight. He made it the second attempt, so it's not like he missed weight, but the first initial step on scale, he struggled. So, you know, I am concerned. You know, a lot of the interviews that he's been talking about, he never really liked doing interviews, but he was very odd this time. Very angry or very distant, very unhappy. Not like, oh man, I gotta do an interview, but more like frustrated, you know. And, you know, I feel like a lot is going on with him right now, and that's not good. Brandon seems happy. He seems excited. He seems, you know, ready to go. Not saying that Fulton didn't have a good camp, but his energy level, his performances, him being dropped. He has a new trainer, Bozy. This is the second time with him. And the first time with him, he got dropped. So, like, there's a lot of changes in his life and a lot of changes. It's just too much. I just think Figueroa has been more consistent, you know. Figue's going to smash Fulton. I don't think he has a glass jaw, you know. I definitely... What up, Fast Car, Eddie Hearn? Fulton was good, but Inoue ruined him, and now Fig will capitalize. And that, as dark as it sounds, if Fulton gets beat up tomorrow, then I think that's a good analogy to say that, you know, Fulton was beaten by Inoue, and Figueroa is now going to capitalize from that beating, you know. Because when they fought, Fulton outclassed them, in my opinion, a very close fight. Like, he landed the more significant shots, and you know, he won the fight. But he took some punishment a little bit in there, you know? And then he took more punishment right after that in another fight. And then he took some punishment after another fight. So you can't just keep taking punishment. Figueroa has been the one that's been dishing out pain. So you got Ramos. I got Ramos too. I think Jason Rosario's seen better days. In my opinion, Figueroa won that fight. It was close. It was a close fight. Morel's arms are longer. Zach Lewis, the Cuban's promoting Morel. That's not true. The best Cuban all time is Rigondeaux, but he doesn't like to be hit. Rigondeaux's career is very unfortunate. You know, he's a case that he had to go to Lomachenko. Fight Lomachenko for what? I know he was asking for it, but, you know, if he was able to get his Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton fights, then, you know. Morrell's finna oil up his 12-speed mountain bike for this one. I don't see why not, man. Let them legs do all the work for you, man. Box his head off. No, Morel's game plan: stay in the middle of the ring, keep turning Benavidez if he doesn't slow down and gas. I feel like anyone that pushes Benavidez back can probably expose something, but the question is, can you? Yeah, I agree. Something's off with Fulton. Yeah, he's a little off, man. I just did this interview with him, and I'm telling you, bro, me and Fulton, we go way back, you know, and I gave him a very genuine conversation in the interview, and he kind of expressed his feelings, maybe a little too much in an interview, which gives concerns. But if he wins this fight, I told Fulton in the interview that we need Xander Zayas and Ramos. That's a good fight, T-Fox. I told Fulton that if he beats Brandon Figueroa, this is a better win than the first time. And I think it's because of the outside adversity and fighting Brandon, which he claims is a more comfortable weight for him. So if you beat a guy that claims that, hey, I struggle to kind of make weight, now I'm at more optimal weight, and his performance is showing that, and you go beat him there, what more can you say, you know? I think it's a better win. Yeah, makes sense. Benavidez would constantly have to reset. Can't fight in circles. That's why Matador's beat an Angry Bull. Yeah, Morrell's going to have to use his legs, you know, not just try to make this about a tough man contest. Use your wit, use his IQ, and he knows that too. You think if Inoue was hypothetically the same size as Canelo, he can beat him in style and that speed and power? You're gonna make me do a crazy hot take, man. Yeah, that's a big if. What up, Legacy Mindset? The Inoue question. You know, I don't want to disrespect Canelo because, like, Canelo has fought a tremendous amount of great fighters, and his resume speaks for itself. And I know some people are like, what resume? Canelo has a very solid resume of fighters. And what I mean is the consistency of above average fighters is there. But do I think Inoue, hypothetically, if they were the same size, could beat Canelo? Skill-wise, I like Inoue's style. I do think if Inoue and Canelo were somewhat the same size, especially now at Canelo's age and he's slowing down, I think Inoue would beat Canelo. Because I think Inoue has freakish athleticism. And sometimes when you match guys with good boxing ability and freakish athleticism, you know, 9 times out of 10, they're going to win. It's like Roy Jones. I think Roy Jones is freakishly athletic, and it bails him out a lot. And I think Inoue, who has a great boxing IQ, who takes chances, which is where some of his danger comes from, I think he's freakishly athletic. I think he's just a freak. I think his athleticism is unmatched in a lot of people when you look at pound for pound. Like, when you look at Usyk, I think Usyk's pound for pound credibility comes from the fact that he's beaten giants. And I think when you look at Inoue, yeah, he moved up multiple divisions, and yeah, they're smaller weight classes, but the way that he's just doing it is like, you start asking, can this motherfucker go to 135? Like, you start asking him to fight way bigger guys. And because he just looks like a freak, you know? Usyk comes from like an amateur pedigree, a guy that's just relentless, a crazy heart. Like, Usyk's a beast too, but you can see him kind of setting up his shots and working his opponents. Inoue is like, how do you even compete? How do you even train for Inoue? How do you prepare for Inoue? He's an athletic freak. So I think when Inoue and Canelo, which is kind of a very silly comparison, but you brought me there. I just think that Inoue would beat Canelo because I think his athleticism, if they were the same size, would be a little too much, you know? An important thing, this is only Cuban developing in the pros in his prime. Regal, Gamboa, Laura, all of them are arrived very late, more than 29. Yeah. All right. I'm going to wind down. I said I was going to get off like 30 minutes ago, so I'm going to speed through. Okay, so the betting line moved a lot today. I don't know why. That explains it. Are you talking about Fulton's betting line moved a lot? Being great as also meaning someone fights something that these young fighters don't do. Salute to DB for Davis, or are you talking about Davis' brother for trying to sell his fight with an opponent who was quiet? Oh, David Benavidez, my bad. Oh, yeah, he's definitely trying to sell. He even mentioned it in a scrum. Morrell's going to run the whole time thinking he's a ninja. I feel you. Do you have a prediction for Bam Inoue? Anyway, just because Bam knows it. Bam hasn't even went up to 122. Inoue's a 122 fighter. Experience difference, you know. Experience difference. Inoue has already been made to do a 360 via his opponent's punch. Chill with the Canelo talk. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'll say this. Canelo ain't never fought someone like Inoue, and Inoue ain't never fought someone like Canelo, and they'll never fight each other. So, at the end of the day, it's just a hypothetical thing. You know what I mean? I'm thinking if Inoue was at 160 and he can move the way that he can move, like, then, yeah, I would pick him. If he's slow as hell and sluggish, then, yeah, then I would pick Canelo. It's just a baseless, pointless thing, but I entertained it just for the sake of it. Outside ring factor can play in the performances for sure. What David you have winning? Benavidez, John Perez. Because experience. I hope David keeps cutting the ring off and staying on his ass. He's going to need to. It's not too wide. Minus 200 for David. Plus 160 for... Yeah, it's close. Yeah, when they fought, that was Scooter at his best. That was Scooter's best. I love Cuban boxers as amateurs, but as pros, they seem to be shot. They don't be strong. I always hear that people claim that Cuban fighters, when they come over to America, they kind of like not work as hard. I don't know how true that is. I can't put that on every fighter as a stereotype, you know. It's a countryman stereotype, so I'm not going to pin that on Morel, but it's a stereotype I heard before. Anyways, way too small. Canelo, I think. No, the thing was if they were the same size. Like they were saying, like he was asking if they were in the same weight, they were virtually the same dimensions, you know, or Canelo was shrunk down, right? Let's say it was a baby Canelo, 122 Canelo, right? That's what he was asking. If Canelo was at 122, who would win? You know, that's what I entertained, which is very silly. But if we measure skill level in pros by amateur experience, then a lot of Cuban boxers should be undisputed. To a certain degree, but like I said, there's been stereotypes. The Cubans have also been in poor management, poor promotions, and heavily avoided. You know, Rigondeaux's never gotten the opportunity like he should have. He had to go up and fight Lomachenko for what? When he had champions around his divisions that didn't want to fight him. And when he finally fought Lomachenko, they stripped him of the belt that he actually had at his weight because he lost to a guy 2 weight classes above, you know? So, it's boxing. You know, he beat Donaire, and then his career was halted. he beat Donaire. You know? And Donaire is on a tear. Is Ramos fighting for a championship belt? And if he wins, can't he watch the Fedor? If he wins, can't he match up with Fedor? Potentially. You know? But I think Fedor wants a soft touch right now. If he can't get a meaningful fight. Yes, the Cubans have a tremendous amateur program, but you do need to be able to adjust in the pros. I think that's the issue with Andy Cruz. Yeah. Baby mini Canelo. Yeah, I know. Sounds silly, right? Baby little Canelo. Yeah. Yeah, he beat Donaire. Oh, wait. He beat Donaire in his 11th fight? Shut the fuck up. Paul, stop it. Stop it. Is this Rigo Donaire 2.0 what you're saying right now? That's crazy. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, Rigo was a guy that was just halted. So, the Cuban slander won't be allowed in my chat. But I think anything's possible in boxing. You know what I mean? You know, we've seen it all, and more is to come. So, we've never seen a Mexican heavyweight. Then all of a sudden Andy Ruiz comes in, right? Thought that would never happen, right? You know, but there's a lot of things that we'll see in boxing at some point in time. So, wasn't Fedor going to fight in his card? No, Fedor was supposed to fight. Well, I don't say supposed. There was rumors of him and Spence, but, you know, that ain't happening. Ramos will win. Other guy shot. Very simple. I think Rosario's seen better days. And anyway, he's coming to the U.S. He's coming in Vegas in April. If you arrive at 29 like Rigo, Lauren Gimmer, you don't have enough time to get recognized. Yeah, I mean, they don't have the same exposure. You know, versus the American-grown fighters. AJ's losses have been more spread out. At this point, Wilder ain't even hungry no more. I don't even think it's not even he's hungry. I just think, like, fundamentally, like, Wilder's fight, he's getting picked apart because, you know, he has fundamental flaws, and it's just surprising that he was able to make it this far, you know. I think Wilder and Josh are still sellable. I agree. Morrell watched all Laura's videos. Mr. Quake, what up, Mr. Quake? Here we go. Morrell finna bust an Arislandi Lara. I see better. Arthur Benavidez moving to heavyweight fight Usyk. Usyk told me in an interview, Legacy Mindset. I just talked to him a couple weeks ago. He told me Usyk's too big and he's too strong now. But anything's possible. Morel ain't even ran though. I think just people expect what Benavidez is gonna bring is gonna cause Morel to use his legs. I was always wondering what happened to Bartholomew brothers, Rancis, and I mean we just saw one legitly just fight Jesus Ramos. Jose Ramirez. Did kind of good early on. They're just a little bit older now. Tank anyways to fight. Ain't gonna happen. Tank wins that. Just too big. But also Cubans don't arrive in their prime. Yeah, they don't. Benavidez should stop him then. Tank duck Loma. Early on, they didn't fight. Yeah, the winner gets better being Bivol, correct. Yeah, they didn't fight early on, and now Loma's a little too old now. Yeah, I think this Loma gets annihilated and destroyed by Tank. And then I think Loma versus Tank back then would have been a lot more competitive. Probably Loma wins that at that point. They're just at two different times, at both times of their career. So 9-11 wins by Morel, came by KO, doesn't need a run. But then none of them were David Benavidez. Nice, we'll be better than David TKO. You say you believe Benavidez will win the fight on certain advantage on both parts, but personally, who do you want to win? Who do I want to win? I don't have a relationship with either guy for me to root. So, like, I'll use an example, right? I don't have a relationship with, like, Canelo, but I have a better relationship with Terrence, you know? If I was to say who's the favorite in that fight, it's going to be Canelo. Who would I want to win the fight? Crawford. Why? Because I can reach out to Crawford and actually tell him on a random Sunday, congratulations. That's who I usually say, you know, who I personally want to win. People who I actually generally have a relationship with. So I can definitely tell you guys my bias of like a reporter, but I also try to keep it also objective, as in like what is right and my boxing intellect. So in this case, who do I want to win? I love upsets because they change the spectrum of the sport. So I'll always be rooting for an upset. However, you know, I don't have a personal relationship with neither, so I don't really, you know, really have one besides an upset, right? An upset would be great. So maybe I'll root for the underdog, but I think Benavidez will win the fight. But I think Morrell he's a live dog and has a high chance of winning. Benavidez should stop him then. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Anyway, got a better chance to find Jackie Chan than coming back to the USA. Anyway's coming in April. Anyway is coming and fighting in April. 140 Manny versus Tank. Who are you taking? Manny? I mean, what was Manny's lifestyle at 140? No, I got Manny. I don't even know why I'm entertaining that. Morel is the only Cuban that has been in his prime boxing since 23. All other fighters past their prime, including Rigo, more than 29. Yeah, a lot of these Cubans are starting to come a little bit earlier. Inoue versus Canelo, man, that's crazy work. Yo, I was asked this question, please. I see, this is why I shouldn't even entertain that. But I did, for the sake of it. I just did. I don't know why. Anyways, better not fight another bum when he comes. He's going to fight a mandatory. Yeah, he's about to fight a mandatory. David Benavidez sleeps Morel, and we'll see who gets next on Sheik's Mortal Kombat ladder. That's funny. I'm glad you're a Mortal Kombat guy. I grew up on Mortal Kombat. I always thought AJ was overrated and is overrated. I think the whole heavyweight division was a little overrated. No shot at Usyk. I think Usyk gets all the credit he deserves, but not Cuban slander, but I don't think Cubans are dogs. I haven't seen one Cuban boxer that killer instinct like Julian Jackson or G-Man, if you know what, who is that, or even Marvin. Of course I know G-Man. G-Man and Roy Jones had a crazy amateur rivalry, and they used to, spar each other. And that was a fight that unfortunately we never got. And G-Man slept Julian Jackson, I think, in a round. And Julian Jackson, the Hawk, was a knockout artist too. So Cubans are not allowed to leave, that's why. Are you going live on YouTube tomorrow? Yes, I will. We'll be doing a live, and I will have someone who has been in the ring with David Benavidez as my co-host. So definitely come and check it out. We'll be live online covering the fight or at the event. So I won't be live at this event. I'll be at Keyshawn Davis's fight and Tank's fight coming up. But this one I decided just to kind of just hang back and, just relax. Been at a lot of fights, and I just had my son, so I'm going to spend some time with him a little bit more and travel a lot less. But be live covering it, so Benavidez should have brought a Cuban cigar. Kind of just chuck it in his mouth. That'd be kind of slick. Yeah, anyway. What? Manny over Tank? Hell no, Tank would KO Manny. I'm sorry. The same outcome as Marquez. It's hard for me to pick a guy who went all the way up to 154 and beat, all the people he did. I don't know, bro. Like, I believe it Tank's ability, but Tank hasn't really, like Marquez, bro. Marquez went all the way up to 140. Like Marquez's resume is crazy. Manny Pacquiao's resume is crazy. The people he was, bro. I'm not slandering Tank. It's not, but Manny Pacquiao is like a freak, and Tank would have had to fought a very athletic, bouncy southpaw. Yeah, maybe defensively irresponsible at times, but my question is like, how do you think Leo Santa Cruz and Tank would have been? I mean, Leo Santa Cruz and Manny Pacquiao would have been. Just saying, man. In other words, another bum. Not a guy that I care for. I'll say that. Yeah. But he's active. He's a lot more active than any other fighter out there. So, and he's defending his mandatories. So, I can't really knock him. Anyway, Bam will be likely happening more. Yeah, I agree. Just Bam needs more time. He's so young. I don't know if he's ready for anyone at this moment. Tank won't take risks. Fight De Los Santos Ryo, so we don't know if he can get slept or a non-dehydrated Ryan. Yeah. Yeah, it's the easy Manny. Like I don't even know why. Infamous. Don't make like what the fuck you talking about? Like don't make me like talk about Tank and Manny. Like it's very wild. Infamous. Like Manny. Julian Jackson was a savage. He just didn't get enough attention. Yeah, he fought on a lot of Don King undercards. De Los Santos is dangerous for someone like Tank. Tank needs better footwork. Tank has good footwork. But De Los Santos does pose a threat to Tank. But I think Tank wins that too. Benavidez, because Tank is small for the weight. You know what I mean? All these guys win. Benavidez has a way to win by submission of punches. LOL. He cannot win with just one shot. Morrell's chin has never been tested, so we don't really know. Unruly. Are you doing the undercards also? So I'll be doing the main card. Like the full main card. The prelims, I'm probably just going to watch that and chill. But the actual main card from start and up. So Jesus Ramos, all those, I'll be live. So the start of that, get the YouTube going. We'll do some live companion. And maybe if maybe I'll open up the line. Maybe I'll let some of you guys jump in between. Maybe I'll pull up, I'll think about it. Maybe I'll pull up the stream and let one or two of you guys come up and do the preliminary. All right, listen. If enough of you guys come through the prelim, if you guys come through the prelims, like the early, like you're talking about the early ones, early ones, like the early ones. If you guys want me to do the early ones, I'll go live. You just gotta come here and interact. Leo couldn't even manage Rigo. Yeah, I don't know. I'm done with the Manny and Tanks. The Manny would have destroyed him, of course. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's not even do this. Don't even come in and troll, man. Benavidez is a combination fighter anyways. I agree. Yeah, Tank's best win was probably Ryan Garcia. Yeah. That, Leo, and Mario Vargas. So, all right, y'all. I've been on for, 2 hours now? Yeah, it's been 2 hours. So, Tank won't even fight Shakur Stevenson, nor any. Anyway's too small, Mike. Anyway's too small. I think Tank and Shakur, unfortunately, won't happen. So, you're a Manny fan, it's okay. Oh, for sure. Look. I ain't got no shame saying that. I got a Manny Pacquiao Funko Pop I got when I was in the Philippines, bro. And I'm not even Filipino. So, I was chilling right over there. I have no shame in that. Can't knock you. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. I'll never lie about my bias, man. If you ask me anything, I'll just tell you straight up. So, like who you like. Facts. You're entitled. Tank is the most impressive boxer today. I think Tank is I think Tank's abilities is unproven and unshown, and his resume doesn't allow him to have these type of conversations. But I feel like if he does match up with all his contemporaries, I think he's the favorite in every single matchup, including Shakur. I think Shakur would be his toughest fight, but I think I would favor Tank in that fight. Benavidez or Canelo? At what weight? 168? If Benavidez comes back down to 168, I got Canelo. If Benavidez stays at 175, $51.49. Bud or Canelo, Haney or Tank? I favor Canelo. I'm rooting for Bud. Haney or Tank? But that will never happen because Haney's at 147 now. So that fight's dead. Tank can even be a champion 147. I mean, possibly. You're asking him to go from 135 to 147. He's human. What 147 is he going to fight? Jaron Ennis? Or a former 135er? If you're having Tank fight the best at 147, that's Jaron Ennis. Would you prefer Canelo fight Skull or Maul Charlo? I guess Skull to be undisputed again, right? But does that really matter? And then Maul, is this the best version of Maul? No. You know, so Maul is definitely not in the right state of mind. I mean, he was in a very tough fight with Jose Benavidez. No disrespect to Jose. His skill set's great, but he's been inactive, injured, and he came all the way up to 168 because Charlo missed weight for 160. I don't know. I think I'll have to say Skull, as ugly as that sounds. Because at least Skull is, like, somewhat credible in this state of, like, saying that he just won the title and he's, like, you know, active. So, you watching the Izzy fight? Is that on right now? Is that fight on right now? If it's on, I'll definitely give it a... I like watching Israel Adesanya. I just kind of was like, man, I can't believe he lost to Sean Strickland with those strikes. That, like, he couldn't... I thought he was a kickboxer phenom. But that's just MMA. Tank, Canelo, Duck, Shakur, and David. I mean, they're the A side, so I can see what you're saying. Haney won't last 6 rounds with Tank. I think it will be a fight where Tank will struggle a little bit because of size and reach, but then he'll find a way. I believe Shakur is an internet fighter with someone mentioned Tank to him. He wants to fight Tank. He just has to get the opportunity, you know. Tank has a small person syndrome. He dominated Jose. You're saying he dominates Jose. You're talking about Devin? I mean, I think Canelo beats both of them. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to think, like, what? I don't know, bro. I think maybe as an event, Charlo's better, but the glamour is gone. The luster is gone. Tank will solidify his career if he just fights 3 top fighters, Haney, Kerr, and probably Tia. Oh, he beats all 3 of them. He'll probably be, like, top 4 pound for pound, depending on how you want to arrange it. Is there any fighter flying under the radar right now that nobody really knows who you think is the best thing? That nobody knows. I don't really have anyone that's like I'm screaming like, oh my god, that you guys don't know. Maybe there's these 2 kids that I'm interested in. I would say look up Troy Nash. Troy Nash is like a 11 or 15 time national champion. And the story about Troy Nash is that everyone knows Cormel, right? And then everyone knows now Zaquan Moses, Shakur's cousin, the guy that's obviously related to Shakur, but he beat Cormel in the last national championship they both fought. Well, Troy Nash beat Zaquan Moses. So if you look at it, Troy Nash beat Zaquan, and Zaquan beat Cormel. Styles make fights, I get it, but just kind of letting you know, and he was around Bud. He spars with Keyshawn and Shakur. Like, he's one of those kids that is around Andre, Shakur, Bud, Keyshawn. You get what I'm saying? And he fought on Red Owl. So look up Troy Nash. And then I haven't really put too much effort into this kid, but I did like what I was seeing. There's this kid named Ben. I got to do an interview with him. I fell asleep. I was supposed to do one, so I feel really bad. I owe it to him. I probably should call him next week because I was putting my son to sleep, and he just fought on Pro Box. Actually, you know what? I can't really say much about this kid. I mean, he looked nice, but Najee Lopez. If you don't know about Najee Lopez, it was the main event in the Pro Box. But no, but since I'm already talking about it, him, I think his name is Ben Johnson. Yeah, I can't just say all this stuff about this kid and then not say his name. Benjamin Johnson. Yeah, this kid. He's 3-0. He looked good, like, honestly. So he's from Maryland, DC area. He's trained by Lamont Roach's dad, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna get him on FightHype. So, but Troy Nash for sure. Troy Nash, keep an eye hard on Troy Nash. That's like, and then Najee Lopez. He kind of got some attention because he's main event on Pro Box and stuff, but are the odds right? I'm thinking David's gonna whip him like Caleb Plant. Maybe. I mean, he has the pro experience. Pros are different. Man, you gotta chill, dog, and Haney. Haney's nice. He's still an elite boxer, not a hard puncher. Yeah, no. I think Haney. I thought, it's a very unpopular opinion, but I thought Haney did beat Lomachenko. I just think that at the moment of time, I just think Tank. Tank is very athletic. Tank is very underrated as well. I just think Tank at this point, after Devin has taken some punishment from Ryan, really, it's gonna be hard for him to fight Tank. When I see how Haney looks after Ramirez, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Virgil Ortiz on radar, Cormel, Moen, yeah, they're good, solid guys to watch. I don't think Shakur wants to fight Tank. That's just talking. He wants to keep his No, I don't believe that. I've been around Shakur. Shakur is genuinely want to fight Tank. He just has to get an offer that his team's willing to want to accept. Really, Paul, I think Tank's resume proves he's most likely the one who don't want to fight Shakur. I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's plain and simple. Tank is the A side. He has to send the offer. And then Shakur's team's going to have to agree to it. So you either get on the guy who's not sending the offer or sends an offer. And Shakur is going to have to accept it, And is it low ball? Is it not? Blah, blah, blah. It's politics. Is this fight really getting close as odds make it? I think Benavidez is the favorite. But anything can happen in this fight because I think Morel is a very tough fighter, has the skills. Who you got? Paul brother fight. They're not fighting. It's a reality TV show. If you Google it, yeah, that was just marketing. Are you ever in the gym watching fighters prepare camp? Always. Infamous. I can tell you, I've been in a camp with Keyshawn, Devin, Shakur, Terrence, Boots, Fulton, Chris Eubank. I don't know, Caleb Plant, Alicia Baumgartner, Clarissa Shields, let's see, what rankings? Let's see. Boxing rankings. I've been through a lot. Man. I'm just trying to think of name Cormel, Richardson Hitchens, T.O. Been a lot of people when you've seen them train or in their camps. And who else? Who's at the top of the game that I've been around? Been around Jose Venezuela in his camp. David Benavidez. I've seen Tank, not actually in camp, a media workout, but it was right before the Ryan Garcia and some other fights. Yeah, I've seen a lot. So Shakur and Caleb Plant got crazy defense. Yeah, Caleb Plant gave David Benavidez a lot of problems. Do you think Morel and Benavidez is as close as Spence and Crawford as for hype goes and how evenly matched everyone thinks they are? I mean, I'm biased. I thought Bud was light years ahead of Spence. I don't think Benavidez or Morel is top 3 pound for pound. And I thought when Crawford was fighting Spence, I thought Spence by resume is a pound for pound fighter, but I thought Crawford was just that dude. You know what I mean? I've seen him train. He's one of the hard, bro, I've seen him train and I'm still it's there's certain people's work rate that it's just and I can't speak for Canelo, you know what I mean? So I haven't really, I've seen him do his media workout stuff, but Terrence is a beast, he's the exception of the rule. I'm sure Canelo is exception to the rule. I'm sure Inouye's exception to the rule. I'm sure Usyk's exception to the rule. Floyd Mayweather, you know what I mean? Like that's a comparison. You know, I've seen him later in his career, you know, but his work rate's just unmatched. So, and that's what I look for, people's work rate. I've seen people do the same workouts Terrence did, and they just look flat, like Terrence. So Morel and Benavidez, I've seen Benavidez train. I haven't seen Morel train. So Benavidez works hard. I've seen up close how freakishly strong and fast. You know, and Spence is very strong too. I've seen him do a media workout too. But no, I could be biased, man. I always thought Crawford was gonna landslide Spence. Loma was robbed. Great fight though. Yeah, it was a very highly debated fight. That was probably my personal opinion that year of fight of the year. You know, I believe Loma fight took a measurable amount of Dev. You go to that fight, Devin took a lot out of Loma. I mean, yeah, Loma took a lot out of Devin that fight, and then Ryan took a lot out of Devin too. So we'll see. People are gonna keep sending chats that are gonna let you log. I know, but you know, they're here. I appreciate you guys. Like, you guys could be doing anything else in fighting. You guys are here rocking with me, so I want to do my best to connect with you guys. Nobody can beat Tank. Around his weight class, I would favor Tank. Sugar Nunez. You talking about the female? The Australian? Don't forget, dehydrated Ryan with rehydration weight class. If that didn't make a difference, why do it? Because you can. You know. I mean, at the end of the day, Ryan accepted it. And if he accepted it, then there's no room to complain. I think Ryan accepted it knowing that after he accepted it, that if he lost, he can use that as an excuse, which he did. You know, Ryan wanted to come at 136 and not 135, so they put a rehydration clause in. And if they were smart enough, they would say no. But he accepted it. He was eager to take the money, and that's it. The only one who had a shot defeating Tank was Lomachenko, not anymore. An earlier, younger Lomachenko, yeah. Like an inexperienced Tank with an experienced Lomachenko. But that's how the fight would have been. And in this case, now you got like an older Lomachenko with an experienced Tank. So, no. Oh, Eduardo Sugar noticed. He's a beast up and coming. Got it. Have you ever gotten to ring with any of them just to play around? Nah. And it's not like I'm scared or I want to get something. You know, it's just... And I'm not saying it's corny because there's people that have done it. It's just... I respect their workplace, if that makes sense. Now, if they invite me and they say, hey, come up, sure, but I'm not going to really force that idea because it's like, I'm in their environment and I really want to like oppose. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, not to me, I don't think it's a joke for them, so I'm not going to treat it like a joke. I mean, I might, you know, ask for certain, you know, perspectives and, you know, and I've talked, you know, and asked questions. I remember when after Terrence sparred, afterwards I asked him some questions about some stuff, you know, and but that's about it, you know. Cold Feet Israel, for sure. I got one more question. Give me your top 5 best resume. Mine is, oh my god, I don't have a top 5 best resume, you know. It's probably going to be like, you know, Floyd and Sugar Ray and Pacquiao. And it's going to be like things like that. You know, it's nothing amazing. Ali's, you know, Ray Robinson. You know, it's going to be cliche shit like that. Joe Louis, you know. It's definitely going to be some cliche shit. But, you know, I don't really have a top 5 best resume. Tank has 12 rounds to deposit. One has a crazy hand, and anybody face to be kicked. Yeah, that's the thing. Tank has an equalizer. You know, Ryan is bigger than Tank. He is. Tank is a midget. And I say that not as a disrespect, but as to kind of explain, like, my opinion of how small he is. And he's fighting these dudes that's so much bigger. He's a midget compared to them. So, he's already fighting big guys. Because if Ryan didn't set the rehydration clause, we would have never got the fight. They would be saying Ryan ducked. I mean, I don't know, man. Yep, always respect the ring. Yeah, you know, I don't really want to you know, it's their workplace, you know. I don't want to fuck with their shit. They let me come in and see, so I hang around. That's enough for me. Do you believe that Boots and his hype? After Roman Villa fight, thought he was told Patrick, thought nobody could beat him. He just looked crazy special. You know what, peel out? All right, so I'm going to read these last two. Flout, Porter, Trout, Oscar, Danny Garcia. Those, you think they're top 5? Resume, fought Danny. Nah, bro. And there's no disrespect to Austin Trout, Danny Garcia, and Porter. De La Hoya I can respect. Floyd I can respect. Top 5 best resumes? Nah, bro. Nah. You gotta go back a little bit, brother. Infamous boxing finish. You gotta go back. Maybe I'll have to do some old school boxing resumes, but there's some crazy ones. Even the cliche ones, like how Sugar Ray Leonard not get in there, but Danny Garcia got in there, you know, or Trout. But when it comes to the Boots hype, I think Boots is a guy who is peaking at the level he's fighting. I think he's an extremely athletic fighter who does have IQ, but he relies on his athleticism way too much now. He fights at the level of his competition. I do expect him to beat Stanionis, but I do feel like there is more of an attitude of believing in his own hype. And I think because he believes in his own hype, I do feel that it has affected him. I think his quote-unquote motivation is clearly showing. And I think his inexperience of fighting at a higher level is showing because he's not pushing himself. And that could be not a fault of his own, but the competition that he's in the ring with. So, you know, I think what we're seeing is maybe a person who needs to get back in the gym and work on his fundamentals and be what people thought he was and work on that versus just believing it. I think he's believing in his hype and it's showing. So, I think he's a good fighter that has the capability of being a great fighter. But when a fighter, and I talked to Breadman about this, I think, but when you have those lackluster fights that like don't motivate you, you still got to be able to turn that switch on. And if you can't turn the switch on with a guy that you're supposed to beat and dominate, then you're not really that great of a fighter. You're just a good fighter. So you always got to be mentally turned on for every fight. You can't, you know, as long as he makes weight, right? Do you make the same excuse for Canelo? Benavidez is way bigger than Ryan is than Tank. Well, yeah. Benavidez is big as hell compared to Canelo. So, of your era? You ain't gonna put Andre Ward in there? I guess. You gonna put Dre in there? You ain't gonna put Terrence Crawford? You gonna put Danny? You gonna put I mean, Porter fought what? Kell Brook, Spence, Crawford. You could say the same with Bud. Bud did that and more. Porter ain't never been up and fought at 154. Good show. Appreciate it, man. Not all the time should I specify. Oh, it's okay. You're just talking about this recent bunch. Okay. But yeah, I'll put Terrence in there over some, you know. I'll put Canelo in there. You got Floyd in there. You got to put Floyd, Manny, Canelo. Shit. I wouldn't be mad at Lomachenko, bro. So, but yeah, no. Same thing with Canelo Benavidez. Canelo's small, bro. That's why I like Benavidez fighting people his sizes. Good. Fight Morel. Fight Arthur Betterby. Fight those guys. So, David said in a couple months back interview Benny Watch walking around at 190-ish. He's a big dude, man. He's big as hell for Canelo. Canelo knows it too. Basically, they don't belong in the same category as insurance policy. If you beat Ryan, if they both fight each other, yeah. Then David himself even contradicted his father. Yep. They all contradict each other, man. And Canelo's impressive. He's a natural 154. Canelo is impressive, you know. You know, that's why I'm saying, like, you should have Canelo opposed to Trout, you know. Or, no disrespect to those guys. It's just I think there's better. And if you put Oscar De La Hoya, then you have a bigger list of people you can put in there. Manny Pacquiao, Shane Mosley, you know. Could put other guys in there too. But all right, y'all. I said I was going to get off a while ago, but I'm really going to make it count. I'm not reading no more comments, you know. So, but live tomorrow. Keep a notification. Look for FightHype I'll have it up. Put the bell. Be notified when it comes on. Come in and out. Open bar. You don't have to stay the whole time, but I'll have a lot of impressive analysis breakdown, and we'll have fun together. So my final prediction, though, I'll probably repeat myself Saturday. David Benavidez, Brandon Figueroa, Pitbull, Jesus Ramos. That's my main card pick. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks as always for coming in, man. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for all the super chats as well. And yeah, thanks, Paul. And I appreciate you guys chatting. You know, I'll read all the comments too. So I'll make sure I'll do my best. So all right, let's see. And all right, you guys take care. You guys have a good day, man. Enjoy your Friday, man. Get out the house, do something productive. You know what I mean? Take a nice little break. You know, touch grass. Yo, Greg, man, how you gonna come at the end, man? Greg, how you gonna come at the end? How you gonna come at the end, bro? Greg, do you have my number? Yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow, fam. All right, Kingdom. Greg, get my number from Mill. Get my number from Mill if you want to do something. So we can do something and get you promoted. Get your YouTube channel popping. Mr. Greg Hackett. Everyone follow Greg Hackett right here. GHBTV. But I'm logging off, man. Get my number from Mill. We can do something. Maybe we can cook something up. But you guys have a good day, man. God bless. After 3 hours. Yeah, man. I'm tired, bro. Tomorrow's going to be even worse, man. This shit going to be super long. So, you guys have a good day, man. I agree, Greg. Go live.